You can smell the shit from 5 miles away.
It's gonna be so bad. Okay.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Wah! My name is Amanda. If this is your first time watching, welcome to my beauty entertainment channel. Intro has to be short because it's a long video. Watch Zoo on Netflix. I'll say this every single time until more people watch it. I look really shiny. Let me just powder really quickly. Using the Charlotte Tilbury. Why am I so shiny? Okay, a little bit better. Whew, that would have been a disaster. Much better. Okay, so in today's video, as you might, social media, Twitter, Instagram, done. All right, in today's video, as you can probably tell by the title, we're gonna be discussing something that's gonna make you really mad if you watch this show. I'm really sorry to bring this up, like, is it 7 months later? I'm sorry, but I didn't make a video on it when it first happened, so I'm like, let me make a video on it now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we're gonna be talking about Game of Thrones. Imagine how tired we are. So, I wanna first start off with a really quick recap of season 8, because if you're like me and you blocked it out of your mind, I wanna remind you what happened so you can understand, like, my discussion. I also have water. Alright, so season 8, episode 1. There's a Stark reunion. Oh, this is gonna be rapid fire. Stark reunion, Cersei fucks Euron, but she's pregnant and then tricks him to thinking that it's his, and Jon learns who he really is. Episode 2, Gendry and Arya get it down. Brienne becomes Sir Brienne of Tarth, period. And then Jon tells Dany his true heritage. Episode 3 is the battle. Jorah, Theon, and Lyanna Mormont all die. All the Dothraki die, and then half of them come back in 2 episodes. Please explain. Somehow Samwell fucking I'm sorry to really curse. Samwell Tarly manages to survive the Battle at Winterfell while crying in the middle of the battlefield. Somehow he survived. You know what? And then Arya kills the Night King, period. Episode 4, Gendry proposes to Arya. She says, psych. Jon tells the rest of the Starks his true heritage. Jaime and Brienne get it down, and then Jaime leaves her. How interesting. And then Euron and the Iron Fleet come out of nowhere, even though Dany's on a dragon that's thousands of feet in the air. Somehow they come out of nowhere and kill the dragon, because that makes sense. And then they kidnap Missandei, and then she gets beheaded. Are you getting angry now? Because I am. Episode 5, Varys starts writing his letters and is gonna tell everyone the secret of Jon, and then he gets burned because somehow the Masters of Whispers couldn't write his letters in secret. The Master of Whispers, that's his title. And then Tyrion frees Jaime, Dany goes mad, and shit hits the fan. The Clegane Bowl happens, both of them die. Cersei and Jaime die due to a rock shower. Then in the finale, Jon kills Dany, Drogon burns the Iron Throne, Bran becomes king, Sansa becomes Queen of the North, Jon goes to the Night's Watch, and Arya becomes a conquistador. So that's the summary of what happened in season 8. In 2 minutes. I did that really fast. Good. Let's discuss why, in fact, that had to happen and why it must have been a joke season. I look back and I was like, if I take episode 3, which is when Arya kills the Night King, as the finale, I'm not necessarily mad at that. The fact that I would be okay with half of the last season being the full season speaks volumes to the writing and the flow, or lack therefore of, in this last season. However, so I have been saying this for a while, so I think that season 7 was the reason for season 8. I don't think season 8 really had a chance due to not just season 7, but how the show had been going since the end of season 6. So Game of Thrones, in my opinion, after season 6, and I'll get into more why later, lost that the thing that made Game of Thrones so special is how it was so complex. Like, I think it was not, I haven't watched a lot of like super complex television, but like it was one of the most complex shows on TV, and it required a keen attention to detail that you didn't need for the last season. You didn't need to pay attention to anything. You could have watched the last season and not have watched Game of Thrones at all. And that's what one of my friends did. She was like, I want to see what's going on. What? The characters lost all complexity, because right after season 7, the show, not season 7, like right after season 6, it kind of been building up to this, the show started doing more things for shock value than character development, or lack therefore of. So one of my thoughts, I was like, they killed off, because in Game of Thrones, side characters are like just as, if not in some cases, more important than the main characters. You have to actually pay attention to the non-major characters. In other TV shows, you don't have to like really pay attention to the side characters, but in this show, they like drive the plot line. And in season 6 and 7, they killed off all of them. These are the people who were killed off in season 6 alone. Preface this, I'm glad most of these people are dead. I'm very glad most of these people are dead. However, think about what plot lines they could have made if these people were still alive. First one is Ramsay. He doesn't need to be alive. That man can choke and die for the rest of time. So Ramsay died. Tommen Baratheon died. Rickon Stark died. Walder Frey died. Hodor died. All the Martells died. Lancel Lannister died. And Marjorie died. Imagine if Marjorie was given the opportunity. Imagine if that woman was given the opportunity to make some... And like... I'm not saying I need you to understand. I'm glad most of these characters are dead, especially the evil ones deserve to be dead. But if they didn't kill them all within 10 episodes, imagine what plot devices could have been used utilizing those side characters to make season 7 and 8 make any sort of sense. And then that's why I have conspiracy. I don't know if this is actual, I don't know. But I think they knew, so David and Dan wanted to end the show. That's also gonna be another point and how they completely rushed the show just because they wanted to finish and do fucking Star Wars. Okay. And because they killed off all those characters, they either one, knew that they were gonna end the show in like 8 seasons and they were like, nah, let's just get rid of them. Or 2, they had to end the show in 8 seasons because they got rid of all their plot devices. Because a lot of these characters were used to move the plot and keep it moving forward. That's the point of the non-major characters in Game of Thrones, is to keep the plot going in a direction that makes sense. So when you lose, how many? Over 8 in one season? You're in distress. In distress and shambles. Call somebody, because you need help. Now I have to get... I really need to calm down, because like there's no reason for me to get angry over a TV show. Like, okay. Next thing I want to discuss is all the forgotten plot lines that were just dismissed and disregarded in this last season. And there's... you know what? Let's just start. For the past 7 seasons, there has been this big buildup to some big secret in Westeros. What's the big secret in Westeros? What is someone not telling us? We find out that Jon Snow is in fact a Targaryen. Yay! 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 That's a good thing, right? No, because it's not used in the show at all. Where is it used? Oh, he can ride a dragon. Whoop-de-doo. Where is the rest of it? Why would you build it up for that long to do absolutely nothing with it? Imagine the exhaustion that I felt sitting in my own home watching this television show. All of that built for nothing. What was the point? What was the point? You could have left it alone. You could have left it alone, but no, you had to toy. You had to toy with me and my emotions. Second, let's discuss how Arya was, she's a trained assassin, yeah, that's a word, trained assassin, and can basically shapeshift into whoever she wants, and that wasn't used more than once. The girl was abused for, was that a season or two? An amount of time on that rickety island or wherever, learning how to kill people for funsies, learning how to change faces. The girl has the ability to change faces, and that was used once. Please, and maybe I'm missing something. Maybe that wasn't very important to the plot line. Maybe that just was, maybe I put too much focus into one part. Maybe that's my fault, but I don't think it is. I don't. She went through hell. The girl, Arya, almost died. First of all, let's also discuss how in the later seasons, these girlies were basically like invincible. Like they all got stabbed in major organs and survived. They all were surrounded by whites, like literally drowning in whites, and somehow survived. That's Game of Thrones has had issues with that, where I'm like, let's be realistic. I know it's a fantasy show. I know, don't come in my comments, but let's be realistic. She went through hell. She almost died. That evil bitch kept taunting her and attacking her for the skills not to be used, for the skills to be thrown in the toilet. Please, somebody explain quickly, ASAP, explain it to me. You can't, I thought so. And then all those first of all, I'm not reading those books. No. But apparently there were all these prophecies in the books and in the show apparently that y'all kept telling me on Twitter, those never came true. Green eyes, butt kiss, thrown out. Why? I have to move on before, see, my arm's doing the thing and now I'm rolling up my sleeves. So we have an issue here. Let's discuss. So the main issue that I saw was season 8/7, because it started to go back then. It started to go bad back then. Oh, I didn't explain. I started watching Game of Thrones in April of this year. So I watched seasons 1-7 in the 3 weeks before season 8 premiered. Just so, I don't know if that's important to know, but like you might want, I don't care. So the issue that I see with the show is how rushed it was. So okay, if you think of the major things that happened in the final season, some of them not necessarily predictable, but you could see the show, like we knew either Jon or Dany had to die. Like we knew that. And also you probably knew that Jaime was eventually gonna go back to Cersei. Like that, you could probably have figured that out. But it was like those were obvious, but they had to get to those two things happening in 6 episodes. Why would you do that? Why, when HBO themselves said, we'll give you more episodes? No, I want to go do Star Wars. Please, I'm begging for an explanation. I'm glad they're in hiding. You know, I hope they're in witness protection, David and whatever their names are. I hope they're in witness protection, because nerds get really violent really easily, so I hope they're in witness protection. They had to get to those, because I feel like everyone knew those things were gonna happen. They had to get there so fast. So of course it was garbage. And then they rushed everyone's character. They had to, because season 7 also, I think it's a very forgettable season to me. Yeah, it's a pretty forgettable season. So like, they didn't do anything in that season, then had to cram it all into 6 episodes. And what they did in season 7, wasn't that a short season too? It was like 7, that's not true. It was like 7 episodes. Why are you rushing? Why? Please. You know what? So a lot of things were, this is the root cause of why the season was bad. Let's start with John and Dany's relationship, or lack therefore of. We were kind of just told that John and Dany were now in love. There was no like lead up to it. We never saw the development of their relationship. They kind of just said, these two people are in love. Just take our word for it. And that's not what Game of Thrones is. I didn't believe it. That's why when John ended up killing Dany, it was very I was like, okay, and? I was like, okay? It was the most anticlimactic death I have ever seen, especially for this show, where it had things like the Red Wedding. What a time. That's why that scene was like, it was like, oh, okay, he killed her. You were supposed to feel something, but of course we didn't feel it because he didn't explain you didn't explain that relationship at all. It was kind of just thrown in our faces, like most of this season was. The exhaustion. It just felt like in that episode, they're like, okay, we have to kill her, but we have like an hour and a half. Where are we gonna kill her? So it felt like they only could fit her in, the mother of dragons. They could only fit killing in Khaleesi. They just threw in her death. What? I really have to move on. Number 2 of rushed characters. Let's discuss Jaime Lannister and how his 7 seasons of character development was squashed and squandered to achieve him going back to Cersei. 7 seasons of Jaime Lannister went from a word I cannot say on this channel to being somewhat redeemable. Squashed it. First of all, I understand that him and Cersei had to die together. That makes sense, that they would end up back with each other. But Jaime Lannister, after the seven seasons and decade of character development, would not have just left Brienne like that. Let's discuss that. He wouldn't have done that. You needed more time. You needed more episodes to explain why he would have done that. Because you built up all this, Jaime's a good person now. Jaime has a heart. Jaime's not an asswipe. You built that all up, just throw it away. And for why? What did you gain? What? It's sick and it's twisted. It's twisted. This whole season was twisted, and that's why I thought it was a joke. I watched the finale and I was like, okay, haha, where's the real finale? Then we're moving on to 3rd, Miss Cersei Lannister. In this season, Cersei Lannister did basically nothing. She kind of just stood there with the bad haircut and the crown and was just like, I'm pregnant, that's it. This incredible villain, the same Cersei Lannister who ended season 6 by blowing up that sept with wildfire, the same girlie, let her shit get rocked episode after episode, and then died in a rock shower. When I tell you, I wholeheartedly believed that was a joke. I wholeheartedly believed that in the next episode, Cersei would get up and be like, you thought I was dead? No, ma'am, I'm still here. No. I don't think you guys understand. I swore, as soon as the rocks landed on them, I turned to my friend and I was like, that's not real. That didn't just happen. She didn't just die at a handful of erosion. She didn't die due to sediment. There's no way Cersei Lannister died that way. I was like, you know what, guys? Don't even worry about it. Next week, she's gonna wake right back up. She's gonna be able to fight. We're gonna be fine. You can imagine how humiliated I was the next week. You could only imagine my face when Tyrion lifted up the rocks and saw their dead body. I felt embarrassed. I felt like I had just been victimized. I felt my life, I was like, you really, You really put the nail in your own coffin with this one. Now I'm sad. And then on Tyrion, the smartest man in Westeros made a logical decision after a logical decision in that last season. Why? You told us for 7 seasons, told us for 7 seasons that this man is the smartest person here. He can think, he's able to manipulate, he's a critical thinker, he can for what? For nothing. For it to all go to waste. Moving on. I'm moving on to Bran. I have no issue with Bran. I really don't. I also have no issue with him becoming king. I really didn't see I wasn't like mad. I was kind of very indifferent about it. I was like, okay, Bran's king, even though he was barely in the last season. Y'all have used him as a literal human prop for like 7 seasons. Also, Bran the Broken. We're not serious. I also thought that was a joke as well. He literally said, Bran the Broken will be, what? You're literally gonna call the... He got pushed out of a window when he was like how old was he? Probably like 7. A young child. He got pushed out of a window by that dumbass over there because he wanted to continue having sex with his sister, and you're gonna remind him of that because that's his name and it's gonna go in history books. Bran the Broken. Please end it now. Then the Night King. All right, so Arya stabbed him, right? I was the happiest that's why I'm like, if you cap the season at episode 3, you'll be fine. I was so happy. But also, I felt like in this season, the Night King's like level of villain was like destroyed. Like they really got him. Like they really killed him and therefore killed all the whites. They were building this Night King up to be like the villain of all villains. And then he just died. But I don't know what I would have wanted to happen. And then I thought about it, I'm like, so Cersei and the Night King were like the 2 villains in this last season. So they defeated the Night King and then they defeated Cersei. Would it have been better if the order was switched? I'm not sure. I feel like it would have, but Cersei was an incredible, that's why that rock death made me so mad. Cersei's an incredible villain. Great. Very smart. Is basically a prop for all of season 8 and then dies by a rock shower. Could you imagine? Nobody got to kill Cersei? Really? Really? Well, I know Arya couldn't have killed the Night King and Cersei. That would have been too much to give to Arya. But no one got to kill her. Rocks got to do it. Sediment, concrete got to do it. Are you sure? Are you sure? You can retract. They can still retract this season. They can still be like, sorry guys, this was one of the edits. I'm sorry, we have another one coming for you. They can really do that. I'd be fine with that. See, so like so you're saying that Cersei was the real villain because they had to defeat her second. It doesn't make much sense. None of this makes any sense. None of it. With a show that required so much, like, I had to, when I was watching it in order to like be able to watch the final season, my friend basically told me, she's like, you cannot do anything else but watch Game of Thrones. Like, you can't be on your phone and watch this show. You can't be doing your homework and watch the show. You need to pay attention to every little detail. For what? Just to be thrown out like garbage. that we're fools? Do they think that we're stupid? You created this show is instrumental in popular culture. You created this and then just dumped on it because you wanted to cut the check. Moving on to the issue. Dany, going mad my ass. My ass. Let me explain. This is I got you. Nothing in that entire show is evidence to prove that she was going mad. She wasn't going mad. The writers lost their what is this called? Hemisphere of their brain. That's what happened. She didn't go mad. The neurons stopped firing in the writers' brains. That's what happened. Not men on that big blue app called Twitter. Well, she burned all those people in season 3 and season 4. Slave masters? Slave masters. You're equating slave masters to the people of King's Landing, the innocent people and children. Are you sure about that one? You don't want to retract that statement? You still can. It's not too late. It's not too late. You can delete those tweets. Going mad. There was that whole scene where she was burning everything was for shock value. And it did. It sure did shock me because it made no sense. It came out of nowhere. It literally came, why? And so let's say they wanted to end the show like that. You needed at least a season to prove to me that she was going mad. You needed an entire season of her going mad for that to have made sense. And this show, in the last season, I think personally for me the last 2 seasons, a lot of the characters, specifically Jon Snow, lost what made them special. Like, Jon Snow became a hollow man who was like, she's my queen. That's literally all he said for 2 seasons. Everything about that made everyone love Jon Snow, because if you hate Jon Snow, you're just a hater and you're probably jealous. Oop. Everything that made him who he was just like fished away so he could support his queen. Kiss my ass, please. Now I'm getting a headache. All this character development for squat. And they had the opportunity to make more money. And I get it. You've been working on the same show for a decade. You want to like move on to something else. Hire new writers. Make it 7, 10 episodes instead of 6. Something could have been done. And that's where my next point is. How the show could have ended. So let's say the season went as when it did. I can't change that. I don't feel like that would be that'd be a 40-minute video. Let's think of the last scene. So this entire show happened. What the last scene could have been to slightly redeem the show. This show should have ended on a cliffhanger. In my opinion, this show, it would have made sense for it to end on a cliffhanger. So let me give you my ideas for 2 last scenes. The last scene, we're zooming in, so Bran's, sitting there. That was not supposed to be a joke. He's there, and he's just like, the camera zooms in on Bran, and then his eyes glow blue. And then the show ends. Would it have redeemed the entire season? No. But it would have been like, it would have taken me aback instead of me just sitting there staring at the black TV in utter disgust. Also, what could have happened? So Jon goes back to the Night Watch, which he didn't need to do because the only person who wanted him to leave was Grey Worm, and Grey Worm was leaving. So Jon could have 100% stayed in King's Landing, but I'm glad that he got to go back because he never wanted to be here. He he just wanted to kill the Night. He just wanted to eliminate the threat of the Night King and the White Walker. He just wanted, that's all he wanted. He wanted to stay alive. He wanted to stay alive, and he was like, I don't need any of this throne bullshit. I don't need your political nonsense. We are about to die. That's why, was it him that was like, why are you guys talking about, there's literally White Walkers coming to kill us all. Anyway, imagine, so he's going back to the wall, right? Imagine he just went, the wall's destroyed. The wall's destroyed, right? Oh, then this wouldn't have made sense. He goes back, so he's walking back, that forest, so him and the free folk are walking back to beyond the wall. And then we see a white peek out behind a tree, says, you thought you got me, but you didn't. I'm literally begging for anything, 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 anything. Any tiny little cliffhanger would have redeemed the show a little bit in my eyes. Still wouldn't have erased the fact that I watched garbage for, was it 6 weeks of my life? Besides that, if it had ended, it's a cliffhanger. Imagine, someone edited, someone edited the ending where it was Bran was the Night King. That makes sense. That would also, Bran, funny little kid, he knew all this was gonna happen. He said, Jack, she said nothing. He was like, yeah, I know I'm gonna be king. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die too. You're gonna die trying to save her. He knew, and he was like, y'all can I can let the mess happen. And he just watched it unfold. Legend. That's why I'm not mad at him for being king. He's a legend. I love him. You know, all good things do come to an end. They do. It could have come to a better end. And that's all I'm gonna say. So, if you watch this, I assume you watched Game of Thrones. Let me know what you thought of the last season. Did you like it? Did you not? Like, I'm not really sure. Tell me what you think, because clearly I was not the biggest fan of the season. I like episode 3. I did like episode 3. I think Ser Jorah died a good death. Theon, who won my heart back, I can't believe I'm even saying that, he died a good death too. But that's about it for good things of this season. Oh, Arya killing the Night King. And Sansa being Queen of the North, even though I'm scared for her because those same Northerners resorted to, trigger warning, raping and beating the women of King's Landing when they were trying to take it over. That's the first thing that they did. How interesting. Anyway, that's the end of my video. I'm really upset, so I'm gonna go take a nap. And yeah, that's the end of my video. Make sure to like and subscribe down below. One of these two directions. Yeah, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.